لا تعطني سمكة بل علمني كيف أصطاد، مفهوم جديد للمنظمات الإنسانية ومفهوم تتبعه منظمة كونيكسيو أفريقيا. هذا هو حوارنا اليوم مع هذه المنظمة التي تحول مفهوم ومنظور المساعدات الإنسانية للاجئين. فحوارنا اليوم في ضيف الشارقة مع السيد فابيان دي كاستييا، مدير منظمة كونيكسيو أفريقيا. Mr. Fabian, welcome to Sharjah, and we are very glad to have you here in the Guest of Sharjah show.
Thank you, Abdallah. Very pleased to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us, and of course, a great accomplishment that we will speak about in this episode. Of course, your participation and in the 9th editions of Sharjah's International Award for Refugees. And you have done, of course, an extraordinary accomplishment by, winning the nomination out of 790 international nomination. Knesco Africa won this award, of course, out of the great efforts that you have been doing all over, the past few years. So tell me about this award, Mr. Fabian, and what message does it relay?
Thank you so much. First of all, I have to say that we are very proud about receiving that award. As you said, like 790 applications. You always think it will never work, but we've been selected, and I'm sure there has been a lot of great organizations who also applied. Why we are proud? First of all, because I think it's a very famous award internationally, as you have mentioned it, and especially in the refugee space. Most of the people know that award, and receiving it, it's like a trust of a very important organization, and it's a real boost for our organization, looking at the past, but also boosting for the future. So we are very pleased and very honored to receive it. And also, as I was mentioning to you, it's my first time in UAE. Mm-hmm. I'm very impressed by this country, very impressed by Sharjah especially. So I'm even more proud now that I've known Sharjah to receive that prize.
Of course, and congratulations again on winning this well-deserved award, Mr. Fabian. But Mr. Fabian, being in the nomination between 790 international nominations, was that reward expected? It is a well-deserved award, but you felt it was difficult to win sometimes, before, being nominated to it?
I think when you have like 790 organizations, the competition is very high. So I would say it's unpredictable. But when you receive that news, and I remember my team receiving the news, and I was with them at that time, everyone was so excited. I think even one of them started to dance.
Yes.
So it's a great. We are very proud, and it's great excitation. Yeah. And it's also for me very important because, of course, I'm the one speaking tonight. I have a team, but we've also been working with almost 1,000 refugees. Yes. And for me, that prize is also something that goes directly to the 1,000 refugees and even to the millions of refugees all over the world. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's something that I want to share with other people also.
Of course, a well-deserved award to you and to your team and to all of the noble and inspirational work that you do, Mr. Fabian. Congratulations again. And Mr. Fabian, as of your huge experience in this field and looking at this award and the philosophy of this award, it kind of focuses on shifting the way people view their refugees. It wants to, to differentiate, or not differentiate, to change the view of seeing them from the point of vulnerability to the point of self-reliance, self-dependence. So how does the philosophy of this award convey or relay to the philosophy of the organization, and how do you view it?
I think maybe this is one of the reasons why we got it.
Yeah.
It's because there is a strong alignment between the philosophy that you just re-explained about the award and the philosophy of Connect Africa. Fundamentally, we believe that refugees have talent. And this talent is untapped or unexploited. And what we are trying to do every day is to give the skills to refugees in order to have the ability to earn their own income and to become self-reliant. We truly believe on that. It's not only the model, it's the fundamental raison d'être of Connect to Africa is we believe in self-reliance and we believe in their own capacity. It's it's almost statistical. There are like brilliant people everywhere. There are as many brilliant people in UAE as in a refugee camp. It's just a matter of how we empower those people, how we give them the skills, and how we help them to start their own activities.
Exactly. Mr. Fabien, the work you do is tremendous. And this philosophy is truly amazing, Mr. Fabien. Maybe the global view to refugees is that everyone sympathizes with them, that we want to help the refugees, we want to give them the essentials for them to live a great life, maybe the life or the daily essentials of daily routine. But you view it in a different way, that we don't want to just help them to live a great life. You want to help them to create a great life, to depend on themselves. Do you think that globally we need to focus on shifting to that perspective?
Yeah, totally. I think if we just forget about everyone looking at refugee and just imagine yourself if you were a refugee, what would you prefer?
Yeah.
Would you prefer to receive some food, or would you prefer to wake up on the morning, go somewhere, do your job, receive your money, and be proud of yourself?
Yeah.
I think it would be the second option, I guess.
I feel more human.
Yeah.
Yes, depend on myself, to be honest.
Yeah, because when you depend on someone else, you just have no reason of waking up. You just wait for someone else, even if it's somehow a little bit easier than walking. But we strongly believe that refugees prefer to be self-reliant and prefer to work. Maybe sometime, because of the aid model, it created a dependency, and maybe sometime a few people will prefer assistance. The big majority prefer to depend on themselves, and this is what we believe and what we try to do every day, to give the skills to be able to do that, because it's not only to say that, after you have to do it.
Yes.
And when you live in a refugee camp where the opportunities are not so many, and you don't have a lot of job, even very few, you need to create that environment.
Exactly. And mentioning that point, Mr. Fabien, among the refugees, there are people who are very capable, with amazing talents, with amazing potentials. And like we have a saying in Arabic, it's don't give me a fish, but teach me how to fish. And I believe that's maybe very related to the philosophy that you guys are following. And even it is the dignity, you're giving them their dignity. Of course, many things that will come back out of their self-dependence. The award, Mr. Fabien, is valued as 500,000 dirhams, which is equivalent to $136. What does that kind of this amount will help and push the organization?
Yeah, that's a very important amount, and we are very grateful to the Big Earth Foundation for this award, and also for Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al-Qasimi for his generosity and his family. We will use it in two ways. The first one, quantity and quality. Quantity is the model we have, is we can scale it up. So we can multiply the number of people that we train. So we will use it to create more partnerships on the ground, to train more people. And this is for quantity. And for quality, is the main activity is to train people, refugees, to digital skills, to access to online jobs. Online jobs is moving very fast. We live in a world of digital transformation, of artificial intelligence, and as you know, digital transformation and artificial intelligence are revamping a lot of things, changing the rules everywhere, including for the people that we train. So we will use that money to adapt our training and to revamp the curriculum and to change the different modules to be fully adapted to the job market.
Of course, and we wish you the best of luck,
Thank you.
Mr. Fabian, and of course the philosophy and the framework that you're following is really inspiring, and it's really effective worldwide. I saw your interaction with His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Muhammad Al-Qasmi, the ruler of Sharjah. Can you describe the interactions and some of the dialogues that went through between him?
Yeah, I think first of all is someone with a lot of wisdom. And it was interesting because the main point on which he focused the discussion was sustainability. It was his main point, is how you manage when you support someone, not to do only something punctual,
Yes.
will last for maybe 6 months or 1 year, how you make something that once you are not anymore there, it will stay longer. This is the story of the fish and the fisherman.
Yes.
That's,
Yes.
by the way, for me, it was Christian, but maybe it's a question of
Yes,
background and
maybe it's a
culture.
worldwide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to
Yeah.
see how the culture see the
Exactly,
things
exactly. Because I have been hearing it since I was a kid, to be honest.
yeah, and same for me. But
Yeah.
by the way, I was telling you, I'm here in UAE since a few days, and it's interesting to see the different culture. For me, it's
Yes.
a shock, but a positive shock. That was just a quick
Yes, of
story.
course, of
So
course.
coming back to the point with the share, really the point was sustainability, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
We are in a world where humanitarian aid is shrinking, so we need to find ways of making things sustainable. And my conviction, the conviction of Connect Africa, is the best way to doing that is to shift from a pure social aspect to a social and business aspect.
Yes.
Because how do you create wealth? How your country has managed to create so much wealth in quite a short of time?
Short amount of time. Yeah.
It's because you managed to do well business. And I'm very impressed. And this is not exactly the same that we want to do, of course, but we want to help refugees to make business, because if they make business, there will be less reliance on grants.
Yes, and that benefits does not go to them only, Mr. Fabian, to their country, to their economy, to their society, and you know that reflects on an entire family and society. So the work you do is not kind of direct. The work you do affects many people that are related to this person, and in a general picture to the country itself. Mr. Fabian, the award is in collaboration with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. You know, this kind of collaboration, how do you think it will change the structural view on humanitarian aid and to refugees and making them reliance?
I think we are at a very interesting moment. UNHCR has been created initially to solve emergency situation.
Yes.
Like, especially where we are working in Uganda, Malawi, and Kenya, and the people are coming from DRC Congo, Sudan, and Somali, mainly.
Yeah.
There are also some other countries. Those conflicts have been there for quite a few years. Like DRC and Sudan especially, it's been there for 10, 20, 30 years almost. And when UNHCR started to act, they act as people are coming. We need to help them to get a house, to get some health, then to be protected, and then education. And more, as they see refugees staying there, Kakuma refugee camp has been there, for example, close to Sudan and Kenya for 30 years. 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like generation
Yes.
of refugees staying and growing there.
Most of their whole life, or maybe half of their age. Yeah.
And even some of them start to have some children in the camp. So when you see that, everyone, including UNHCR, are starting to shift also their mind as we need to create sustainability, and we need to create also some models where we generate some livelihood. It's not easy, it's very complex, but I think that prize with UNHCR help us, all of us, including UNHCR, to progress on that livelihood aspect, which is existing, but to my point of view, not enough developed.
Yes, it exists, but it needs to be developed, and the focus needs to be shifted on it.
And just a comment, sorry,
yes.
It's the only way to do that is
Uh-huh.
with businesses.
Yeah.
Livelihood depends on companies,
Yes.
so that depends on business. And in those kind of organization, the people come from a humanitarian universe. So it's also a different mindset of
Yes.
people, and it will take a bit of time, but the direction is going there.
Exactly. So Mr. Fabian, as you said, some of the refugee camps has been there for years and years. So that's the main point of focus that you focus on, which is changing the belief or the act of urgent aids or urgent helps, even not sustainable helps. Just inserting the business models and the business ideas into that will actually change, but the whole picture. But as you said, Mr. Fabian, it's complicated, and it needs work, and it needs, and you are of course a great contributor to that change, Mr. Fabian. Mr. Fabian, as the way Knesco works and its goals, and looking at the world and the political situations and the fast changing world, especially your dependence on and your belief on digital connectivity in a fast-paced changing political situations, how does that challenge you and challenge the frame of work?
This is a very good question.
Yeah.
First of all, why did we choose digital economy? It's because it's something that you can do from everywhere.
Yes.
And sometimes people think about a refugee camp where people are living in tents and there is absolutely nothing. Some of the refugee camps are like this, but some others, and the one where we are working, it's more long-term housing and refugee camp, and there you can have electricity. Solar panels are working more and more efficiently. You have now internet satellite, and even if you are in a refugee camp far from the capital, the speed of the internet is quite fast, and you can work in good conditions.
Yes.
Not as good condition as here, but with good condition. So this is why we choose digital economy, because you can access it from everywhere. And there is something interesting when you are a refugee working online is when you are online, you are not anymore a refugee. You are you are me, everyone, and there is no difference.
Yeah.
There are a bit of paperwork issues, but it's solvable. So this is why we are there. And now regarding your question, clearly the environment is fast changing, but AI is reshaping the work for everyone, including yours.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2 years, it's not going to be you who will interview me.
Exactly.
Maybe it's going to be an AI.
We have to save our jobs.
That's at least we
Exactly.
have to move and
to know how to
adapt.
use. Yes.
And
yes.
this is what we are exposed as everyone.
Yeah.
So now where we look at is where you have the human in the loop, which is needed.
Within the AI, within the
because
existence of the AI.
you don't have the choice.
Yeah.
AI is there, even if you don't want. AI is there. So you have to find where the human is needed and where it brings value. And this is what we are trying to do, is to train the refugees also on AI and where their humanity is needed.
Exactly. And there is like a saying, Mr. Fabian, is AI might not replace your job, but if you don't learn AI, you will definitely be replaced.
Yeah,
And that's in every field.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
imagine 30 or 40 years ago, maybe you and me were all kids at
Yeah.
that time, but computers arrived, and you don't have the choice. You have to work with a computer. Now it's a new step. It's computer plus AI, and you need to adapt with that. Maybe the impact is bigger, I don't know. But what I know is you need to do that. So that's why this year, and that will answer also to the question you asked me before on how we revamp the curriculum. The two things we are adding a lot is first AI, how to work with AI. We talk about AI assisted solutions. So you sell a service with AI. And the second thing is in that world, you need more and more soft skill, critical thinking. It's not anymore about technical things because any GPT can help you to code or to do anything, but you need the good critical thinking. The good thing is anyone can have a good critical thinking, even refugees.
Exactly. So as you said, Mr. Fabian, it's not now about the technical use or having the technical skills. It's now like a way different, skills you have to have in order to, make the AI help you reach your goals or be good in your field. And Mr. Fabian, like for the audience and myself, we would like to dive deeper into Konisko Africa. How would you define the organization since it started and until now? And as I understood, the two main pillars of the organization is digital training and business process outsourcing. How do you combine between these two? And how would you define the organization in a detailed manner?
So the goal is to empower refugees to access their own revenue.
Yeah.
The way to do it is thanks to digital solutions. And concretely, we have two arms. The first one is providing the skills. So it's a training model. So you will come and you will join, it's like a school, during 4, 5, 6 months, depending on who you are. And during this time, you will receive some skills and we will help you to start practicing online some different gigs that you will do on freelancing platform. This is the first model, providing the skills and connecting you to job opportunities.
Yes.
The second model is called BPO. BPO stands for Business Process Outsourcing. It's when some companies are outsourcing jobs in other countries where usually it's cost a little bit less. And we created a BPO solution in our NGO for many reasons. The first one is when you start doing services, you talk to clients and you understand what the client needs and you feel the pain of not doing something well. And when you do that, when you understand what the customer needs, you can improve your training.
Yes.
First reason. Second reason is we can provide some work experience for some of the alumni. Some of the alumni will manage to find a job easily. Some other, they will have a bit of difficulties, so we will provide them some work for 2, 3, 4, 6 months, and they will get work experience. The third reason is when we sell services, BPO services, we invoice customers, and we make a small margin, and we use that margin to finance new training. So for us, it was very important to start that BPO, and we are shifting now from a pure NGO, focus on training, receiving grants, to what we can call a social business, where we receive grants, but we also sell services, still non-profit, but we diversify our sources of revenue because if you want to be sustainable, you need to get different sources of revenue, not only grants.
Exactly, and not to depend on a single source, as
Exactly.
you said, Mr. Fabian. But Mr. Fabian, like even your huge focus on AI and inserting AI into the curriculum, and also that data analytics, how did the refugees react to inserting these two things into the curriculum? And as you said, like how long does it take for them to have the potentials and the required skills for AI and data analytics?
Okay, 2 ways to answer to that big question.
Yeah.
The first one is how do they react? Last year, we did a survey to ask to refugees how do they know AI? Do they know AI? And actually, that was surprising. 90% of them knows what is AI. For me, I was thinking, okay, they are living far from cities, they don't have the same knowledge. Basically, lots of them have smartphones, they have WhatsApp, they look at social media, and lots of them already use ChatGPT, and sometimes better than you and me.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
they have understood that it's a real tool for them. So they don't use it necessarily always very well, so we need to help them to use it very well. But to your first question, they know what is AI, they need to better use it. And the second question, I don't remember the second question.
Yeah, it was how long does it take for them, to have the skills?
And regarding the second question, actually it depends on who you select.
Yeah.
If I select the best refugees with the highest skill, it will take me 1 month.
Yeah.
If I select the most vulnerable with a low education, it will take me maybe 1 year or 2 years. What we are doing now, we are shifting from selecting the most vulnerable, which was the initial target, to the refugees who have a bit more education, because we found that sometimes looking at someone who is very, very far, even if socially it's perfect, the reality is in 6 months, you cannot match the job market. So this is a real question for us, is how we always balance the fact that we take someone with very, very big needs, but also someone who has the potential to match the job market. So this is a question that a lot of NGO ask themselves, and now we are trying to be a bit more balanced, to at the same time fill our social goal, but also be on the real market.
Exactly. And speaking of that, and speaking of their training, Mr. Fabien, you stated that you make technology a tool of dignity and self-reliance. Share me your thoughts about this sentence, and then how do you feel that technology is related to a dignity of a refugee and his self-reliance?
I think, unfortunately, technology sometimes can be a tool of exclusion.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how to use it well, in a world where technology is spreading everywhere and is becoming more and more complex, it can be a factor of exclusion. But if you reverse that and if you train the people on how to use technology, then it becomes a way to be more efficient, faster, and even if you didn't go to school and you didn't have the chance to study for 10 years, 15 years, I don't know, thanks to Wikipedia, thanks to ChatGPT, thanks to those different tools, you can have the same arms as others. So this is why we see technology as a tool to compete with some people, even if you didn't have the same chance as them. And thanks to that, you can be able to work and you can get the dignity that we were talking about.
Exactly. And that's a very important point you mentioned, Mr. Fabien, is right now, let's say a student from the beginning of his entrance to school to his high school, all of the knowledge, and even the knowledges, let's be honest, the knowledges that we learn in university, they are all accessible now within one touch. So yeah, like having a refugee or a person who did not have the chance to study, within the first years of his life, can now match the same knowledge and information that he wants within minutes as the person who studied, as these years. And this is one of the great, of course, positive and points about technology. Mr. Fabian, you mentioned using technologies such as high-speed internet, Starlink. What is the factor that using this technology or having this satellite internet made the tremendous change in doing your work with the refugees?
Yeah, I think this is something that surprised me when I created Konnexio Africa. There were a few pilots, but we established the local NGO in Kenya 1 year and a half ago. I was so surprised by the technological changes that occurred the last 3 or 4 years. Just to give you a comparison, I had the occasion to work in DRC Congo 10 years ago. And I can remember solar panels were not working well, so we were using generator with some fuel in the middle of the forest. And internet, sometime when it was a bit cloudy, it didn't work. It was so slow. I was always clicking on the button to refresh the pages. I remember it was almost impossible just to get one email. Now, thanks to the new technology of internet satellite like Starlink, but also others. And thanks to the new solar panels, the equipments allow you to have the same quality of speed or working conditions as everywhere in the world. And this is a real game changer. The same as you described just before about the fact that thanks to AI, you can have that knowledge, but also thanks to the new devices who are more resistant, faster, you can provide some equipment in very remote area. And by the way, for our BPO solutions, we've built 2 centers, one in Kakuma refugee camp and another one in Kibera, which is an informal settlement in Nairobi, in Kenya, the 2 of them. And both of them have the capacity of about 50 seats, and you can work in good conditions, like if you were in an office, maybe not exactly the same quality, but
similar,
it works.
Similar.
It works.
Yeah, because imagining sometimes, you know, having an online job, Mr. Fabian, or an online education programs, it's the word connectivity. It's as described. You need to be connected the whole time, and you know, the internet or the connectivity issues is of course a main pillar for that to be achieved. And as you said, these technologies made this happen and made this so much easier. And speaking about, you know, the beneficiaries of the organization, Mr. Fabian, 66% of the beneficiaries are women. Is this percent correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's you know, 66 is a huge number, percent. And how do you make sure they get all the support and sometimes the child care for whoever needs it, and the full support they need, you know, to, you know, whatever they need within the organization?
Yeah. First of all, 66% is not a hazard.
Yeah.
It's really intentional.
Yeah.
If I just put an advertisement in a refugee camp, like who wants to be trained on digital skills, I will get a majority of men. Unfortunately, there are some inequality, and women have less chance sometimes rather than men. So we have a strong willingness to focus on women, because they will be a bit more shy and they will have less chance to be selected. So intentionally, we give them more opportunity to join us. That's the first point. Now, once we have selected them, of course, they have some challenges because they are usually the one taking more about the children. So what we do is we developed in partnership with organizations on the ground some solutions to help especially the young mother to take care of their children. And how we do that very concretely is, we didn't mention that, but Connextro Africa is not working alone in refugee camp or informal settlement. What we do some partnership with NGO or community-based organization who are already there. They already have their buildings and they already know the communities, so they are better adapted than us to find the participants, to provide some basic services. And we come by providing the curriculum, some project management issues, and the connection to the job online. But it's like a partnership, a joint venture between us and local NGOs.
Of course. And this partnership made a huge impact on the results that we see today,
Yes.
Mr. Fabian. Mr. Fabian, another accomplishment and another successful thing to talk about is increasing the income tenfold, which was within 2 years, or which was within a few years, increasing the income to $200 per month. What was the effect of that on them, Mr. Fabian?
First of all, 200 USD, it's a figure that we measure between 6 to 12 months after the end of the training. Even during the training, they start earning a bit of money, even if it's $10, $20, $30. Second thing, if you look from the UAE, 200 USD doesn't look so big, and it's the same for me coming from Europe. But the reality is, if you go to Kenya, Uganda, or Malawi, 200 USD is the average revenue that will get a driver, someone working in a supermarket, so more entry-level jobs. So this is a good salary, and a very good salary compared to someone who is living in a refugee camp. Usually, living in a refugee camp, people manage to get between 20 to 50 USD per month. So we managed to multiply by 2, 3, 4, roughly, the revenue they can get before us in the refugee camp. Now coming to your question is, how do they use that? They use it first to diversify the food they get, because usually WFP or World Food Program, They give really the basic
Needs of food.
means for the distribution.
Yeah.
Usually they don't have vegetables, for example. And then their main priorities are health and then education for their children. So we help them to be able to pay for their own expenses for their family, basically.
Exactly. Which reflects on the quality of life they live, which reflects on many aspects of their life and the life of their families. It's a huge accomplishment which had a tremendous effect, Mr. Fabien. Even Mr. Fabien, as Kouneksio Africa, works on different camps, even like it works with camp-based refugees in Kakuma and Dzalka, and also urban refugees in Nairobi. And the training model, employment model, and the mechanism of the work of the organization and the focuses of it, does it differ from camp to camp and place to place?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
There is a global methodology which will be implemented everywhere. And at the same time, because we are making some partnership with local organizations, they will be the one in charge of implementing it as they think is the best.
Yeah.
Let me give you a few examples. Maybe a camp think it's better to do the training on the morning. Maybe another one will say, I want to balance refugees and host communities 50-50. Maybe another one will say it's 80-20, etc., etc. So the more you have the ability to adapt the core model to the local context, the more you be efficient. And once again, we don't think we have the solution alone. We think it's the co-creation which will make the biggest impact. And it's also the fine-tuning adaptation to the local context, which is very important for us.
Of course. And we feel like, Mr. Fabien, collaboration with many different entities facilitate the bigger picture or the end goal, of course, of Kouneksio Africa. And speaking about that, Mr. Fabien, there is an ambition of expanding to other countries, maybe such as Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda, or maybe also other places. And when it comes to expanding, Mr. Fabien, I believe that maybe in every country there are maybe some challenges and challenges that you face in terms of refugees employment and maybe other geographical challenges. How do you usually pass these challenges or solve these challenges that you face?
There are a lot of challenges everywhere.
Yeah, I can see.
But-
Of course. Yeah.
But I would say right now, the 2 points that I will look in priority are the ability of the local partner and the legal conditions. Let me explain. The first one, the ability of the partner is if you have a partner who is very hands-on and have the capacity to solve all the problems, because there are always some problems on the ground, you will be more efficient. And what we are noticing now is there are more and more refugee-led organization. A refugee-led organization, it's an organization on the ground that has been created by a refugee or a community of refugees. And usually, those organizations which will gather maybe 20, 50 people, not like 1,000, like a big NGO, they will be much more efficient because they are on the ground. They know the reality. Usually, most of them have been born in the camp, so they understand. And when they have a problem, in a few minutes or a few days, they find solutions. So we are trying to shift and to balance our partnership not only with big NGOs, but also with refugee organizations, because they are part of the solution, and it will be much more efficient. So our first priority is to find the right partners with a clear attention on refugee-led organization. Let's imagine also if me as a French, I come to your country and I say, I have the solution, I don't want to listen to you, you won't like it. Of course, it is not what people do, but it's more important that it comes from the ground and from the people who are experiencing the situation.
And when it doesn't come, what do you do, Mr. Fabien? You suggest? maybe?
Yeah, we suggest and,
Mhm.
and we try. It's like in a partnership.
Yeah.
It's a balance. So
50-50, yeah.
and sometimes it's 51-49, and then
Yeah.
like there are ego problems, etc. But we
Mhm.
always try to be the most balanced as possible and to give the power to the ground. So that was the first key points. The second one are the legal solution.
Mhm.
When you work in East Africa, where the countries are facing economic challenges,
Mhm.
where the job markets are not great, where the unemployment of people is very high,
Mhm.
the governments are not very motivated to give more job opportunities to refugees. And this is understandable. Like every countries do that. It's not only East Africa. The more you have unemployment, the less you will give work permits. So this is also what we are looking at, not to see only the problems, but to see on how we can change the mind of the government, not for all the refugees, but for saying at least to the refugees who are working online, look, they don't work for a Kenyan or a Ugandan employer. They are working for a company who is in UAE, who is in US, who is in Europe, so they don't steal jobs to your citizen. It's not easy, but we are in the process of that, and I think we are creating some impact now. And my objective, our objective, is to create some legal authorization for the refugees who are working online in order to be legally working and to pay taxes, because when you start paying taxes, you will start also to get some few benefits,
Yeah.
but they stay there. So if they don't work sustainably,
Mhm.
you won't solve the situation for the long term. So we try to work with the governments
Yeah.
to create better working conditions and legal conditions for the refugees.
Exactly. As you said, Mr. Fabian, this collaboration is a must, and it is what's facilitating, the work and the end goals of the organization. But I'll go back to the AI point, Mr. Fabian, as you mentioned. These countries initially or basically they do have economic challenges. And speaking of that, speaking about the AI, and since the AI is right now in the future, is many people and many studies refer that it is a threat to many jobs. Maybe to jobs that are in cities that are doing perfectly fine in economic base. To those refugees and to their future, will the AI be a threat to them, or are you giving them the skills required for this challenge?
Okay, the answer is yes, it's a threat.
Yeah.
But it's a threat for everyone, once again.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was between Dubai and Sharjah, and I was talking with the driver, and the guy was telling me, maybe if you come back in 2 years, I won't be there. There
Yeah.
will be an autonomous driver.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
So there are some threats. What we do is, first of all, we believe in they have to use AI. So that's our first conviction. We don't try to say, let's do everything without AI. AI is there. So that's our first conviction. And to answer to that, we give them the AI skills as maximum as we can in order that they have the last skills that are needed on the market. So the answer is yes, AI is there. Yes, it's a threat, but you have to be on the top of the ball for using AI.
Exactly. It kinds of puts an extra responsibility,
Yes.
an extra drive of utilizing or having enough skills, enough advanced skills.
Yeah.
The skills required before is different, of course, than the skills required now, and within the AI, it's even more.
And
Mr.
I would like to say something.
Mhm.
AI is in every business,
Yes.
everywhere. Everyone is concerned by AI. And there is something which is sure, it's no one knows where we are going. So you can ask the question to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yes.
You know, maybe for 12 months, maybe 30 years ago, we had the capacity to project ourselves to 5 or 10 years. Now it's not anymore
Yeah.
possible. Refugees are not.
Yeah.
So you have to think, let me think to 6 to 12 months. Let me have the agility and the adaptability to move every time. Even now, for example, our curriculum, we are trying to develop some models where we use AI to co-create the curriculum, not to create automatically because we need humans, but the curriculum needs to be adapted all the time because market is moving, so you need to be agile. You don't have the choice.
Exactly. You need to be agile. It's a must, Mr. Fabien. Mr. Fabien, Kونيكسيو Africa and this organization, if people wonder what is the main reliance, I guess we have mentioned it before, that most of the reliance is on maybe donations, or is it on the commercial contracts that you have? Or can we state that information, or is it secret?
Sure. I'm not a big private company, and I can disclose the results.
Of course.
Don't worry. Right now, okay, 1 year ago, it was 100% grant, 0% commercial activity.
Yeah.
This year, it's not finished, but I think we will be around 90% grants, 10% activity. So it's growing more on the activity part.
Yeah.
We also had the chance of getting the Sharjah price.
Yes.
So it will not help us to balance
Exactly.
because we will be receiving grant, and we are very proud of that.
Yeah.
But the strategy is clear, is to increase the activity part. And if people are listening to us today, and I hope so, we are more looking at activities now to give more jobs to people rather than getting some grants to train.
Okay.
Because if we have activities, first, we provide work experience, then we make a bit of money, and we can pay for trainings. So it's more important for us to have activities rather than grants.
Rather than donors. We wish you always the best of luck, Mr. Fabien. We have learned tremendous things from you today in this interview. But before wrapping up the interview, Mr. Fabien, we would like to maybe go to the point, or maybe dive deeper to your career. And as the beginning and until now, and to this position in the Kونيكسيو Africa, how do you feel like, what are the main points in your career that made us see you here in this position right now, Mr. Fabien?
Okay, starting before me to Kونيكسيو Africa, I think we've been turning around since the beginning, but you can see Kونيكسيو Africa, it's in the middle of something.
Yeah.
We are working with local NGO. Those are the social actors. We are working with the government for work permit and legal. Those are the public players. And we are working with companies to provide job opportunities and to sell services. Those are the private players. So we are in the middle of that, and we are trying to make some partnerships involving everyone.
Yeah.
And in my career, this is also something that I've been trying to do, always trying to involve different people for a social goal. But I really believe that the solution is not only on one universe. You need to be able to talk to the different people, because when you want to achieve a social goal, you need the social expert, but and I insist a lot, you need to get the businesses, the companies, because they have money, they have jobs, and if you want to create a sustainable solution, you need them.
Yeah.
And this is maybe how you can characterize me,
Yeah.
is to have that double kind of skills, that double balance with the social skills and also the business skills.
Of course. Many accomplishments over the years and tremendous work you're doing right now, even Mr. Fabien. We wish you always the best of luck. Before wrapping up this amazing conversation we had with you, what are the future goals that you seek?
For me, the future goals are being able to scale our impact. So with a clear focus on East Africa and probably Africa more globally. And the second one is to contribute to a change of mindset in the refugee space, not only focus on aid, but also being focused on social businesses, employment, market-related solutions. So we are doing something which is still small. We've been training 1,000 people. Refugees are millions, unfortunately, on the planet today. And if we are able to inspire some others, I would be more than happy. I'm sure, and especially if it comes from refugees, to show them they can make businesses, they can share their earnings, and they can empower more and more people. That's my dream.
Of course. And we hope that we'll see it very soon, Mr. Fabien. And thank you so much for being with us and for being here in Sharjah and for being with us in the show of Guest of Sharjah.
Thank you so much, Abdullah.
Thank you so much. أعزائي المشاهدين، إذن هذا كان لقاءنا مع السيد فابيان دي كاستييا، وهو مدير منظمة كونيكسيو أفريقيا. حوار ملهم وحوار إنساني ملهم عن أدوار كبيرة يقومون بها، وتكرم هذه الأدوار في الشارقة. شكرا على متابعتكم برنامج ضيفا الشارقة في هذه الحلقة. نلقاكم مجددا في حلقة أخرى. مع السلامة.